Back traders, my name is Trap Trades, and we're going to be going over stock ticker GME. Due to some crazy volatility, you've just had the most volume since the sneeze back in May of last year, which the volume was what, 172 million? That is absolutely absurd, and you left one of the biggest gaps I have ever seen. Like, that's stupid, man. That's back here. That's the last biggest gap you saw. And what does GME always do? It fills the gap. And so now you're actually at resistance. You closed above resistance or support, on the weekly. What I don't like the volume. I don't like the RSI, but the RSI is at a low that it usually bounces off of. Last time you were at this low and the RSI was March 12th? And from March 12th, you saw March 12th was, shnikes, schnitzel. March 12th was the low. Pretty much perfectly. You saw 40% on GameStop, right? So where does 40% on GameStop take us from today? 40% on GameStop takes you to the freaking gap fill, man. And so that's what you are looking for if you are to strike along here on GME. I've had this trend line set for a couple months now, actually, and it played out near perfect. That it's creating this double bottom, triple bottom, whatever you want to call it, or flag pennant formation. And if that was the case, you might be looking at some stupid price targets. Because if it's a bull flag or a pennant, your price target would take you to $232. Holy smokes, guys. $232 would be stupid. It'd be so dumb. But that is potential, right? And so I'm personally, this stock is terrifying. I mean, if you just look at the volatility in the last 6 months, you're taking 19 to 35 to 20 to 36. It feels like every single earnings, you get just a ridiculous dump. I mean, this was earnings, knife, earnings, knife, earnings. Not bad. Earnings, knife. Like, this is kind of crazy. But there is one thing that remains true every single earnings. The recovery. And so if you are a betting man, and you are willing to take this trade, I'm not even sure if I'm willing to take this trade, and I'm in freaking Dogecoin to the moon, guys. Like, but if you want to go to the top of the pennant, 60%, that's a nice cash out. Or if you want to play the long term and you're just DCAing, ain't bad to add here too. I mean, personally, what I'd wait for is I am waiting to see what this trend does. I'd like to see what GameStop does next week early, because you have a lot of outside external news factors. You have war, you have the share offering. I mean, if this thing announces how much cash it raises next week, you could easily see reversal back up to 30. And so that's the risk you got to take. But if you're in a position here, I don't think DCAing sounds terrible. I think it sounds really good. Of course, none of this isn't financial advice. I am just a stupid, dumb retail trader who loves risk and also loves money. So, what I think is likely, when's the next earnings? Next earnings is September. So what I think is likely is you kind of trade back up here. Let's see. If only I could find my brush. Got my brush. What I think is likely is you kind of trade back up here. You fill the gap. You get everyone excited. Hooray! And then you're back for earnings. And then excited, yay! And then you're back. And then boom, $200. That is possible. But I'd like to see this formation play out a little bit more. And if this is right, my God, I mean, everyone is banking. Hedge funds, bankrupt. Retail, rich. But it just doesn't look there yet, unless you're looking a little bit further out. Maybe I'm wrong. I could definitely be wrong. Maybe it's not a pennant. Maybe it's an inverse head and shoulders, right? You got kind of like a shoulder action, head. And that price target would take you to, let's say that this is the neckline, $95. A little bit less exciting. Personally, I'm willing to DCA and wait for the MOAS, mother of all short squeezes, because if you didn't know, $280 would be insane. That would be double the all-time high. So if you think about where GameStop started, right? All the way down here. And you think about possibility. You think about $280? 50,000%. I'm not saying anyone struck that long. That'd be absurd. But I'd definitely say that will outpace and outperform the S&P 500 in the span of 5 years, which is cool. I think everyone wants that opportunity, right? So that's my TA on GameStop. Short term, I'm waiting for news. I'm waiting for confirmation because you're still kind of in this bear flag, and I don't love that. So I'm waiting on news, waiting for confirmation. Long term, looks great. Hold this trend, you'll be fine. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. Go touch grass. Peace.